Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. This is part 2 of this. And I said in the video that you could draw this, and the tree is going to be the hardest part. But I drew this tree in about a minute, and anybody could. Just a couple things you think of. All it is mine might be a little bit different, but take a polygon tool, set on 3-sided, don't hold down the control button, and then Control D and make a duplicate, moving it down to about there, and you could actually thicken it a little bit, and then select them all, hit C, and then Control D again, and move it down, thicken it a little bit, take everything and hit C, that put it in the center. Then just take your virtual segment delete key and delete these lines. There you have the tree. Now, maybe I'm a little bit top heavy, and then what I would do is take away those 2 nodes, and you could just bring this one down to whatever you want to do. Now, these are broken lines, but we're going to fix that in just a second. Take a rectangle, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with the Smart Fill tool, and that's going to seal our lines, because I'm going to hit C here in a second and put them in the center again. And then I'm going to take a rectangle about that shape, and I'm not worried about where it is, because I am going to select them all and hit C, and that put it in the center. Pretty useful little tool. And then just go through here. Now, to save those broken lines, let's take the Smart Fill tool again, and now we've got all the lines. I would left click, right click, go up to edit contour. We're going to contour the outside point 011. And what it did, it made that contour around there. See my broken line? So now select it all, go up to object and break the contour apart. Now our trunk is thicker than it in the original picture. So what we're going to do, since we broke the contour apart, trying to grab the shape tool, we can grab those 2 nodes, holding down the control button, to just bring that in. Grab those 2 nodes, bring that in. We just need a little bit, and grab the bottom, bring it up. And then when you bring in your Smart Fill tool, you have that almost exact tree. Now, the original tree, let me get, this is about the same size. The little tree, the original tree isn't perfect, and it looks pretty good. Mine looks too uniformed. But what you can do now is take your Smart Fill tool and or your shape tool, and just give it some variation of that. Maybe go in on one and up on the other, and a lot you could do with that. You could grab all 3 of those nodes and bring them up if you wanted. Grab all 3 of those nodes and bring them up. Grab those 3 nodes and just bring them up a little bit. Give it a little bit. So that probably the hardest thing about drawing this. The other part is just a bunch of lines in circles, and that's, can't get any easier than that. That's just 2 lines. I'm just going to draw it real quick. I wasn't going to, but this is how I would do it. Just take a 2-point line, unless it has to be exactly that shape or exactly that dimension. Well, you wanted that dimension. I think he's doing a hat. And then let's take an ellipse. Let's try to make it about the size of that one. That's close enough. And I am going to, for just a second, I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. And if we look on the original, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So really 6 lines that not necessarily are perfect. I'm just going to take a 2-point line and hit P, and I'm going to rotate it 60 degrees or 30 degrees. Whoop, I didn't make a duplicate. So then go back to 0, Control D, Control D, Control D. Now we only need, really, if we look now, let's bring this back to the start. We only need a couple of those lines. We need the 5 of them. Well, and see, they're not even perfectly line. So take the whole thing and just rotate a little bit. And then just take your virtual segment delete key and go through here and delete the middle. And we're actually going to delete these here in just a second when we delete the other side. And of course, we're going to make them all a little bit thicker lines here in just a second. So the sun is going to go right there. And it actually fits in there like right there. This is easy. Take an ellipse. Don't do that. That ellipse is, let's make it 0.9. Set your nudge factor on 0.9. Control D. Control D. Take a 2-point line. Go right through the middle. You ought to be able to grab this and go right, snap to the center. We only need the bottom parts of the line, so we're just going to delete all that. Now, his is a little bit different. They're a little bit more bowed out, and you could fix that because we could take this now, go up to object, and combine that line. And then, of course, some of that's going to be cut off, but we're going to make them not so perfectly round like I made mine perfectly round. We're just going to make it like that. Let's put that about right. Kind of hard to, about like right there. And then this line goes through the sun. So we need to take that part of the sun and delete it and delete it. And it's actually a little bit short of the bottom of that wave. And that's so easy to do. Just take a 2-point line and put a line there, and we'll go ahead and put a line there. And then we'll take the virtual segment delete key and delete these lines. Take away our line. I could have just hit it with the pick tool and deleted it. We're pretty close. Then, and I would elongate these structures again. And also I need to, you can't really just cut that off, but we can put a line right through there. And what the virtual segment delete key stops when it hits a line. And then just delete that and then take the whole thing. I think I'm pretty close. Right click. That might be a little bit too thick. Too thick. That's pretty good and pretty close. Anyway, just some suggestions. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.